Hey guys, this is James, and I wanted to share with you today a comparison between XYLD and XYLG. They are Global X's S&P 500 covered call ETFs. Now, XYLD or XYLD for Dividend is just the 100% pure covered call ETF, and XYLG or growth is their 50% covered call and 50% growth ETF. These are the fund stats with the share price, dividend yield, expense ratio, dividend frequency, which they are both monthly, what you would be receiving every month per share, and your annual dividend per share. And then we also have these growth and contribution numbers that we can play with here. We'll start with a $0 a month edition, and if we go over to the Seeking Alpha data, we can find these numbers right here, their annual growth rate, and this is just in the past year. So XYLD, $50.36 share price at the moment. Over the past year, the XYLD has grown 7%. That doesn't mean the S&P 500 has grown 7%. It's closer to about 25% year over year, the past year. But XYLD has grown 7%, and their dividend rate is 9.08%. The XYLG fund is sitting at $32.03 with year over year for 1 year growth is 15%, and their dividend yield is 4.31%. So let's go ahead and compare these two funds and see what fund you would rather invest in. What would be more advantageous for you? So with all of these numbers in here, exactly how they are from Seeking Alpha, we can see that XYLG, the growth fund, currently in this bull market for the S&P 500, the growth fund is outperforming XYLD. With it, if this bull market continued for the S&P 500, we would have more money after 10 years in our XYLG fund than we would in our XYLD fund if all numbers stayed the same. So let's say if we wanted to add $100 a month in both funds, what would that look like? If we started at a modest $1,000 for our principal, we would have $39,000 after 10 years for XYLG and $31,000 in XYLD after 10 years. That includes your $100 a month. Let's go over to the math tab, and that should spread a little bit more light why in maybe one scenario you might want to invest in XYLD over XYLG. So we come over to the math tab here, and we find that XYLD, we have a larger dividend payout than we would in XYLG. So it all depends on how big your portfolio is and what you're looking to do with your portfolio. Let's say you just started your portfolio with $1,000. Well, you ideally would want to go with the growth fund, especially in this bull market. If you're looking just to invest in XYLG or XYLD, XYLG is the clear winner in this bull market. So let's run a scenario where it would be really advantageous for you to choose XYLD over XYLG. Let's say you are close to retirement and you had, let's up it a little bit here, and let's say you invested in the stock market for a good 40 years or so, and you had $2.5 million in your fund. You were no longer contributing to it, and the bull market run continued as it always has over the past 60, 70, 80 years of the S&P 500. Bull market continues. We have very similar numbers here. When you are ready to retire at $2.5 million in your account, you would have every year for XYLD $227,000 in dividends. Let's say you just wanted to take out half of that, you would still have more money than XYLG, and you'd be able to reinvest it back into your fund. You can see at the 10-year mark here, if you retired at 65, your XYLG fund will have $5 or $4 million more 10 years later at 75 if you didn't touch your fund at all. So you can really see the value of compounding interest here. If you guys want access to this calculator and you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com. at Jim the Producer, and I have a few finance workbooks that you can purchase for a very low cost. The Fund versus Fund Investing Calculator, which was featured in this video, which is just $3 per month. You can either purchase it and stop your subscription, or you can keep up the subscription, and every new version that I upload to Patreon, you'll have first access to. Or if you don't want to spend any money as of yet, you can download my free 401k investing calculator. All you need is Microsoft Excel. And with that, please hit that like button. That lets me know that you guys enjoy this type of content, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.